Hi, today in this video we'll talk about multiplication theorem of probability. In our last video we talked about marginal joint and conditional probability. Basically we'll be also showing in this video that how conditional probability and multiplication theorem of probability are interrelated. So let's start with the first of all basic meaning of the multiplication theorem of probability. What does it exactly state? Multiplication theorem of probability simply states that if A and B are any two events of sample space S, then probability of A intersection B is equal to probability of A into probability of B given event A has already occurred. So this is probability of B given information about the occurrence of A, where probability of A is greater than 0. So we are simply saying that okay, probability of A intersection B is, first of all, let's suppose event A has occurred. So the probability of A, now what is the probability that if A has occurred, what is the probability that B will also occur? This is this probability. So we are saying what is the probability event A will occur? Now since A has occurred, what is the probability event B will also occur? Right? So this is event A has occurred and this is the conditional probability right of event B given A has already occurred. Right? Alternatively, probability of A intersection B is equal to probability of B into probability of A given B. That is, what is the probability that A and B will occur simultaneously is, what is the probability that event B will occur? Now what is the probability that A will occur since we already know that B has occurred? So this is probability of A intersection B. This probabilities are conditional probability. If you want to learn about it in details, you can also have a look at our last video where we have talked about conditional probability, that where does this term come from and what exactly it is. Right? So now we have few corollaries. First corollary is, if A and B are two events of a sample space S, then probability of A given B is probability of A intersection B upon probability of B. Right? So we can see over here, so since over here from this term we simply took this in denominator. So this is this, right? Probability of B given event has already occurred is equal to probability of A intersection B upon probability of A. These are our conditional probabilities and these are the exact formula of conditional probabilities. So what we can say, that yes, our multiplication theorem of probability and conditional probability are interrelated. It's just that we're taking terms here and there, right? Now second corollary, what happens when the events are independent? Multiplication theorem for independent events, that is the events are non-dependent. So if two events A and B are independent, then probability of A intersection B is equal to probability of A into probability of B. From where does this come from? We know probability of A intersection B is equal to probability of A into probability of B given that A has already occurred. But now we have seen this, but now we know that event B is independent of event A. And since both the events are independent, therefore probability of B will never be impacted by or influenced by or affected by probability of A. So therefore this is similar as probability of A into probability of B, because now we know that probability of B will never be affected by event A because A and B are independent events. Now we have a converse. If for any two events A and B, we have probability of A intersection B is equal to probability of A into probability of B, then A and B are independent. So here we are saying that okay, if two events are independent and this is true, right? This is also the multiplication theorem for independent events. But we are saying okay, but if the converse is true, that this multiplication theorem part is true, then in that case the events are also independent. So this is the only way of judging whether events are independent or not. If either of the condition is satisfied, either we know that A and B are independent events, we can use this thing. If we know that this is true, then we can say okay, both our events are independent. Now next is generalized multiplication theorem of probability. So now what does this states? First of all, we know for A and B, for two events, probability of A intersection B is equal to probability of A multiplied by probability of B given A has already occurred, right? Or probability of A intersection B is also equal to probability of B into probability of A given B has already occurred. So this was the formula. But what happens when we take the case of three events, A, B and C? So here we need is probability of A intersection B intersection C. So we know that this is probability of A. What is the probability that event A will occur? Multiplied by probability that B will also occur given that event has already occurred. Multiplied by probability that event C will occur given A and B both have occurred, right? So what is the probability that all three will occur simultaneously is that A has already been done. Then what is the probability that B will occur given A multiplied by probability of C given intersection of A and B. That is both the events have occurred, right? Now what happens when there are n events? Let's suppose first of all our n events are A1, A2, A3 till AN. So in that case, probability of A1 intersection A2 intersection A3 intersection AN is equal to probability of A1 multiplied by probability of A2 given A1 multiplied by probability of A3 given that both A1 and A2 have occurred multiplied by till probability of AN given that all other n minus 1 events have already occurred, right? So this is our generalized multiplication theorem where we are seeing that okay, one event has occurred, what is the probability now second event will occur given first event has occurred and so on. So this is the generalized multiplication theorem for n events. Now let's discuss some examples. Our first example is that a mathematical problem is given to two students A and B. Their chances of solving it correctly are known to be 0.4 and 0.9 respectively. That is for A, that A will solve it correctly 0.4 and B is 0.9. Find the probability that both of them solve it. First of all, before solving this question, what important thing is that whether is it dependent or it's independent. That is whether the two events or for both the students to solve it correctly is independent or not. Here we can simply see that let event E1 represent the event that A solves the problem correctly. And event E2 that B solves it correctly. Now, first of all, you can think it this way that you are two friends, both of them are solving your questions. So, is it now whether you solve the question correctly or not, is it dependent upon your friend? No. And whether your friend solve the question correctly or not, is it dependent upon you? No. So what can we say? That both events, both E1 and E2 are independent events. And if we want the probability that both of them solves it, that is what is the probability, the occurrence of both E1 and E2, that is E1 intersection E2. So we know for independent we have probability of A intersection B is probability of A into probability of B. This is for independent events. So here it's probability of E1 multiplied by probability of E2. This is simply 0.4 multiplied by 0.9, which is 0.36. Right? So we are saying that there's 36% chances that both the player will solve, both the students will solve the question correctly. Right? Now let's understand our next example. This is again an example which is I have picked up from Business Statistics by book Andy Vora. A panel consists of 4 CAs, 9 engineers and 3 clerks. right? Out of these 4 plus 9 plus 3, a committee of 3 members is to be selected randomly. Okay, now out of these, we are saying that 3 members have to be selected randomly. Find the probability that the first person selected is a CA, second one is an engineer, and the third one is a clerk. So now we want to define the event. So how can we define? First of all, E1, that event that a CA is selected. E2 be the event that engineer is selected. I'm not talking about order. I just want this. And then I want that my third event is that a clerk is selected. Right? These are my 3 events. Now what we want is, first of all, what are the total number of people in the panel? So total number of people in the panel is 4 plus 9, 13 plus 3, 16, right? So now what I want is probability of E1, that is CA is selected from here. Second is that an engineer is selected, and third that a clerk is selected. We want this, right? So now for this, this we understood. Now for conditional probability, we know for 3 people this is the case. So this is like probability of E1 multiplied by probability of E2 given E1 multiplied by probability of E3 given the occurrence of both E2 and E1. This is what we need, right? So first of all, what is the probability of E1? Probability of event E1 is simply there are 4 CAs and total is 16. So from here probability is 4 upon 16. That what is the probability of CA selected is 4 upon 16. Now next we need is probability of E2 given E1 has already occurred. What is this? Now we know that given E1 has already occurred. This means that a CA has already been selected. Now how many people are left for selection? 16 minus 1. So that is now 15 people are left because total was 16. 1 is already taken out from that panel. So there are now only 15 people left. So 15. And what are the total number of engineers? Engineers are 9. So this is 9 upon 15. Next is probability E3 given both event E2 and E1 have occurred. Now again, earlier we know that there were 16 people in total. After event 1, we have 15 people left. After event 2, now we have only 14 people left. So 14. Now what are the number of clerks? There are only 3 clerks. So this is 3 by 14. Right? So now putting the values in this formula, what will we get? We can simply put these values, that is 4 by 16 multiplied by 9 by 15 multiplied by 3 by 14. So this is simply equal to 108 upon 3360, which is equal to 0.032. You can leave it either way, right? So here we have seen how we have used multiplication theorem to solve the question of intersection of the three different events, right? So this is what basically is multiplication theorem. In our next video, we'll be talking about theorem of total addition or theorem of total probability, right? I hope you like this video. Do subscribe this channel for more videos. Thank you.